Hello, my name is Superintendent Leon Freitag, and I'm rejoicing in what God is doing there in Grand Forks. This began to stir in my heart a number of years ago. Back in about 2005, I began to feel that God wanted to do a special work in the city of Grand Forks, and felt that we needed to do something to reach the people there. And of course, I'm well aware of the wonderful campus there in the city and the thousands of young people who need Jesus. And it's just a great time now to look back and see, after this many years, of what God is doing in the church there. So I join with you today in rejoicing the goodness of God and how lives are changed when Jesus comes into their life. And I appreciate the ministry of Pastor Nathan and Mary. They just love people, and I appreciate that heart. And now God's put together a wonderful team. Pastor Bryce has come, and we see the college kids just coming to Christ. This is something that causes our hearts to greatly rejoice.
It was probably about 10 years before we even moved to Grand Forks that one day Mary and I were sitting down in the living room just talking just about our future and really the things the Lord just has for us feeling in our hearts. We thought, one day we're probably either going to be on the mission field or we're really going to be planting a church. And we had no idea what was going to happen, and that really Grand Forks was going to be a part of God's call upon our life. There one morning and just in prayer thinking about it. And it was in that moment I really felt the Lord speak to me and said, Nathan, that what He's calling us to do is just to be an extension of His grace to the people of Grand Forks. And to, with His help, to create a place in which people really feel noticed and accepted for who they are. And that as a church that we would really be the nearest representation of heaven on this earth.
We just began to pray for open doors, to meet people in divine appointments, and we also saw the Lord bringing people strategically in who would really be a part of our church. So for the whole first year, we didn't have a Sunday morning service. We were just meeting in our home for several months.
And so we scheduled some preview services, but we didn't know where we were going to be meeting at. And miraculously, the Lord opened to us what had been Scott's Music Store downtown Grand Forks, and we were able to get in there and begin with one service. And then that was in April. In October, we added a second service. The next year, we added a third service on a Sunday night. And through it, we just always sensed God's incredible blessing and His favor. And from there, we were like, what are we going to do now? Because we have 135 seats in our sanctuary and people keep coming to our second service. We've got to expand somehow. Little did I know that right across the street was the place that God was going to place us. And so we moved into the former Meadowbrook Furniture Store at Demers Avenue. And we began with one service in March. In October, again, we went to two services. And in all of it, we have just sensed really such God's divine favor and His blessing. I have a philosophy about ministry and church life, and that is that God gives to us everything that we need to be successful in His eyes. And so in it, one of the neat things has been the people that He has sent to us that have been able to carry the vision of Freedom Church, which is really not our vision, it's really God's vision that He's given to us. But they've picked up kind of that whole mantle and have really run with it.
Hi, we're Bryce and Eden Meyer. We're Chi Alpha staff pastors here at Freedom Church, and we've been here since the fall of 2012. Prior to us coming, Kyle and Tara Trozen, good friends of ours, actually came and started up a ministry on the campus of UND called Chi Alpha. And it's incredible. They grew it into a group of about 50, 60 students. And so we got to see God just work on top of what they had already built, and we began to see God grow the group, students inviting their friends, people coming to know Jesus. We grew to about 60 to about 115 the first year. And this year we've already seen, we've seen it go all the way over 200 students, and a lot of them just giving their hearts to Jesus, and it's been so incredible.
My name's Danny Hill, and I've been going to Freedom Church since about last April. And I started going to Chi Alpha the first summer Chi Alpha in June. And so I felt like I really got plugged in right away because Chi Alpha was just so welcoming with all the people. There's just so much love and embrace that I felt just the moment that I walked in. And I really felt a part of this family. And so
my name is Mike Muslinski, and I've been a part of Freedom Church ever since I got involved in Chi Alpha. And I came to Chi Alpha as a freshman when there was only 30 people, and I just felt so welcomed. I'd never experienced a church family before. So Freedom Church is wonderful at just making UND students feel welcome and comfortable. The whole left side of the church is just full of college students.
It's been so fun to see the interaction and connection that Freedom Church has with Chi Alpha, and the students being able to get involved and volunteer and involved in ministry, and just from the time I walk through the doors, seeing them greet me all the way up to upstairs in the children's ministry. Just being able to see that unique connection, it's been really incredible.
And so we just love the relationship between Freedom Church and Chi Alpha, and we love what God is doing in Chi Alpha and how God is growing this college ministry and how he continues to have more in store for it.
And I think of the jail ministry and Carrie Sue and a number of ladies that now have continued that ministry, and the number of people they've been able to reach is just incredible.
Sorry. Hi, I'm Jeff.
I'm Carrie Sue, and we belong to Freedom Church.
There you go.
We've been here for 5 years from the beginning. Since I started being a part of jail ministry, I have got to witness God transform lives, and it is the most life-changing experience when you actually see somebody who is downcast and just totally hopeless, and watch God just touch their lives and just see this new vibrance in them and see them like move in ways that you could never even dream for them.
God really put it in our hearts to begin this coffee shop in which students, people from the community could come and really just connect and fellowship, and it began really with just the
My
Ember.
name is Josh Hokel,
My name's Mary.
and we came to Freedom Church in the fall of 2009. We were living in San Diego, and we actually knew that we were going to come to Freedom Church before we ever came to Grand Forks. God just kind of laid it on our hearts that we knew there was a church plant starting up in April, and we knew that we were going to come here.
The Ember is such a unique coffee shop in that it is volunteer-based and it's a nonprofit. So we get to give back to our community just very simply, like with money. But then we have our volunteers who come in and they're the baristas behind the coffee bar. And it's been so fun to get to know the college students that are helping out, and just to see how them interacting with downtown Grand Forks on a Friday night at 1 in the morning has kind of changed their lives.
Hi, my name is Sarah Doherty. I've been a part of Freedom Church for about 6 months now. I got involved though with the Ember in July. I didn't really have any plans or thoughts of, being involved with Freedom Church. I was invited to Utaro's baptism, and I was hesitant. I was hesitant every single time anybody invited me to do anything in regards to the church, in regards to talking about God, anything like that. I was really hesitant. But I decided to go, just being greeted by all the people that I knew from the Ember at Freedom that morning, and just being really moved by Utaro's story and the symbolism of baptism. And then since then, I haven't missed a Sunday. So today I actually was baptized April 6th. And I think that it's great because the first time that I came to Freedom, it was for baptism. So this is kind of coming full circle, and me being just involved and loving it.
Freedom Church definitely has been placed downtown for many reasons, but one of them is the Ember. And it's so cool on Fridays and Saturday nights, just seeing the people that are down here that need Jesus. And it's awesome for us to just love them and serve them.
As I have reflected on God's faithfulness, I've also thought a lot about just the faithfulness of the people the Lord has brought our way. It has been all in many ways, in many areas, there's been people who have contributed financially that really they have enabled us to do the work of the ministry at times. But then there's been people who have stepped up in leadership, and sometimes in places they didn't feel comfortable. And we just feel so blessed, and we want to thank everyone who has really poured their hearts and finances into just the vision of Freedom Church and what God wants to do here.
The neat thing about it is that in all of it, it's not about Freedom Church or really even a denomination, but it's just really about God's presence and His kingdom coming to this place. And that, again, is what our desire is. As I think about the future of Freedom Church, I get really, really excited with just the staff, with this community, the days that we really that we live in. There's such an incredible need for churches just to rise up in the strength and the power of the Holy Spirit, with love in their hearts to embrace a broken world. And as I think about that, our job is not done. And so we look back at 5 years and we say, we're so thankful, but there's so much more yet to be done. And so on this journey that we're on, we're going to continue going.